mission shirt on. Just one a week. One a week, huh? Shoot.
JG, what's the plan today?
Play football. Yeah, looking forward to seeing our guys. It's kind of not a dress rehearsal, I don't want to say, but a time that we can go fast and make it pretty game-like before preseason one. So, it's going to be, they don't have scripts memorized. They don't know what's being called. They kind of have a game plan just as like probably honestly harder than a game because they don't exactly know what's being called. But go play football, execute, have a good attitude, and, I got to get better today as always. So it'll be good. About 3 or 4 sessions of unscripted, situational type ball, and looking forward to seeing us compete today.
What was the kind of behind signing Mac? Was that more of a looking for depth? Is it?
Yeah, really good player. We decided to add. Good job by Monty, and again, you guys know how Monty rolls. We're going to try to improve our team every second that we get. So I'm excited to have him here. I was with him in Indy. Phenomenal person, phenomenal teammate, and excited to get him acclimated.
How much does he still have, you think?
We'll find out, huh, Bob? I know. You could ask. He's not. He's had some really good years. He's been nicked like a lot of running backs have, But if you ask him, he's got a lot left in the tank, So we'll see.
His addition isn't any reflection on Keontae or Corey?
No, add a good player.
Was this today with more fans, more of a dress rehearsal for the guys, just getting in front of a bigger crowd today?
Yeah, when this was brought to my attention that we do this red-white, I loved it. Yeah, all for it, let everybody in, So it gets our guys, the more we can put external factors on them like a game has, the better off we are. We got to concentrate when it's loud, and I'm looking forward to seeing our crowd today.
You said at the end of last week that this week was going to be a tough week for the guys with 6 days and a lot to put in. Now that we're at the end of it, do you feel like they came out of it how you wanted them to?
I do. I think that the real test is today. We'll see how we run around, how we execute, how we play football today. But it was a stressful week for those guys by design. They understood the why behind it, and they responded well. They really did.
Do you know who's going to be your starting quarterback week 1 at this point?
I don't know who is going to start in any position right now.
What is going on with Keontae? Seems like he took a little back.
Yeah, he's got a little nick. He'll be back pretty soon.
The latest on the guys on the pup.
Working day by day, and hopefully we start to, get closer to making those decisions to take them off pup. But, again, with all those guys, until they're, physically and mentally ready to play, then we'll leave them on there. But I like where they're all trending, and they're doing a good job.
When it comes to penalty flags so far, with the guys you got out there repping you, has it been consistently good on your side of things, or are you making too many penalties?
Yeah, it's funny because there was obviously a human element to refs. So we got a crew in here today. Scott Novak and his crew is in here. They were 2 days, and yesterday obviously it was a walkthrough, but 2 days ago when we went fast, that really what we're looking for with our players when they come, players and coaches, is the education of how they officiate. And understand that there's going to be some variance in that, but it's educating our players. Hey, here's what we're looking for. These are the points of emphasis. They showed a video last night, points of emphasis from the entire league. That typically points of emphasis every year. They officiate a little bit, harder, more strict, at times. But we're looking that's part of our game that we have to be educated, and we got to understand, what is a foul and what isn't. And you got to play within the rules. So that's very valuable for us. And then, when they're not with our players, they're not on the field, the coaches have things. They make cut-ups for them. Hey, take me through this. Why is this called? Why is this not called? Myself, being a first-time head coach, I ask those guys, hey, can I do this? How would you like me to approach this? Different things like that. So it's just a really good back and forth. And I know they have a hard job. But they care and they do a good job. They're pretty well prepared with what's going on. I wouldn't want that job. They do a good job.
Through those conversations, what was something that you learned through that?
don't challenge this because it's not going to get overturned.
When you're doing today's practice, will you do similar things with the coaching staff, like put coaches in different
Yeah,
places?
we got some. So a little bit of a practice, a little bit of a game. So to start, we'll have everyone down just like you guys have seen. Then we'll have a period where certain coaches go up. We'll put on the headsets, make sure our communication's right, make sure that our, I would call it, headset standard operating procedures is to my liking in a dress rehearsal before we get out there against Denver. And, start the process of learning how to communicate, all those things. But it's honestly probably harder today than a game just because of, the clock operator and the refs, but it's not real game. I'm kind of out of a whim. Hey, let's change the situation and do this. And some guys might not know what's going on a little bit. So it's actually more chaotic today, and that's okay. But if I was a coordinator, I probably wouldn't like it. But we'll do a good job. But it's kind of a dress rehearsal for those guys too. Good question.
Is there nothing different or extra that you tell your undrafted guys? Because this has always been more of a challenge for them.
No. I think it's for us is we educate them on here's what's expected, here's what we need to see out of you, and go play football. And again, how do you add value to this organization? Like all of us. And I thought they've done a really good job up until this point.
How would you start camp your tight ends at this point?
Say it again.
How would you assess your tight ends?
I like where they're at. Obviously, we've got a couple nicked. You'll see those guys getting back in. But, you see how Drew deploys them and uses them, and they all got a little bit different skill sets. But it's, you got to have good players in those positions to play how we kind of want to play. Just from a defensive standpoint, when you got a guy that's multiple, it makes it a little bit hard. And I like where they're at.
Zach Ertz told us at the start of camp that he was 2-week program and he thought he could do what he needs to accomplish to get back. It's going to be 2 weeks here in another day or so. Where's he at?
I like where he's at. I think you'll see him when he's ready to play.
Bringing in someone like Matt, do you envision having more like a running back by committee, or do you think you'll have like a true RB1 come?
No, I think who's ever up on game day, they will have a role to help us win. It's our job to identify what that role is for those guys. And I think that, as you got to play differently each week. And to win games, typically. And I think that, depending on what their role is and how we need to play and who's up, then they'll all contribute. I really do. So a lot of that, too, it's a really good question. A lot of that's, game dictated, situationally dictated. Why didn't this guy have 20 touches? Well, we were, down, or why did this guy have 30 touches? Well, we were up, we're trying to run out the clock. So I always said, play time and touches and this and that. It's a lot of it's game dictated too.
F-line with the twos, is that a reflection of how he's performed, or is it just the mixing and matching you're talking about?
Everybody, mix and matching. He's doing a good job, though, for just getting here.
Focusing on everyone getting a little bit better, but is there anyone on the roster through 2 weeks of camp where you're particularly pleased with the progress they're making?
Yeah, all of them. Really am. I you guys know me. There's some guys that are doing a really good job. They're all working really hard, trying to improve their game, trying to carve out a role for themselves for us to win on game day.
They're calling the defense out there on the field today.
Nick, who's calling the defense?
As far as relaying it out to the huddle.
All the linebackers, because we're not limited today of who has a green dot. So who's ever in there at Mike or Will be calling it. All of them have it in their helmet right now, though.
Every coach has their own approach, right? Every coach. When you are very hesitant to name any starter, right? What's the strategy behind that here?
Month and change till we play football.
But aren't there guys that this guy will start?
We'll see.
Coach, thank you.
All right. Have a good Saturday.